rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified, and today we have a solo. First of all, I want to say happy Friday, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into another one of our podcasts. I wish I could tell you what episode this was, but my brain is absolutely fried. Today has been this week has a very interesting week. We've shot some podcasts with some people. They're not out yet. They'll be out soon. But just crazy and just captivating stories. Both of them, the way they just express their story and express themselves is just insane. Like, you just kind of hear the passion and the hurt and the wins and the losses and the lessons inside of their voice, where it's like I even forgot. Like, I can't wait for you to see, you guys, just watch it, because you'll even notice sometimes where I forgot I was the damn host of my own podcast, right? And which led me into into this conversation that I wanted to have, and I wanted to shoot a solo. My goal is to do a couple solos a month. Now, I only shoot these solos when I'm feeling it, and I have to be honest. If I don't wake up and do the things that I need to do to become a better version of myself, then I don't shoot solos. I have to be honest. If I'm not doing the right thing, I do not feel motivating. I do not feel inspiring. I don't feel inspired myself. And that's something where this kind of topic came into, right? Is that you create your own happiness, right? So let's go back real quick. For some of you that don't know my story, I'm going to take you back about 5 years ago. My name is Anthony Lopez, and I started my journey off at over 600 pounds. And how I got to be over 600 pounds was just a life of indulgence. A life of no type of sacrifice, a life of no type of portion control, no discipline, no accountability, no consistency, nothing that I've worked myself to have to this day, right? And when I was living this life and I was thinking that I was doing the fun thing, I thought that everything was so fun and cool and living for the weekend, and I got a little bit of money here to go out and buy some Four Locos, and I got, money to buy cigarettes, but I don't got money to meal prep because that's expensive, right? And I'm going back and forth. I need to stop doing that. I need to stay on this track, right? So that was the life that I was living. The life that I lived was not for myself. It wasn't for Anthony Lopez, how I was raised, how my grandpa raised me, how my mother raised me, how my family raised me, who I knew that I should be. But I was becoming of this world, right? I was happy. But at the end of the day, I was not happy. I just had a whole bunch of masks on. And those masks all look differently different times. Sometimes it was masking with smiles. Sometimes it was masking with alcohol, with cigarettes, with partying, with drinking, with fighting. Different type of masks every single time, every single day, right? Because I thought I was so happy. I was happy though, right? But I really wasn't happy. I played the part like I was happy. I acted like I was happy. You would think, looking at Anthony Lopez, he was happy. He was a big guy. He was a fun guy. He was a funny guy, right? But I was creating my own false happiness. And at the moment, I didn't know it was false happiness, because this is all I thought I was worth at the time. I thought I had to be the fat, funny guy. I thought I had to be the yes man. I thought I had to be the Uber driver. And when I mean Uber driver, I'm talking about the Uber driver, the one that drives all the friends around. Not the real Uber driver. That was like a couple years later. That was like a year or two later. That was my happiness. That was my happiness in a bubble. That is what I put myself in. That's what I felt my self-worth was. I thought that's what being happy was. Indulging in things, no discipline, no type of accountability, right? And not working to be the best version of myself, not working to be the person that I know that I was put on this earth to be. But I was happy when I was drinking. I was happy when I was happier than picking shit when I was eating. I was happy when I was smoking cigarettes. I was happy when I was out partying on the weekends, buying bottles with my friends, knowing damn well I can't afford it. I was happy. But that right there is not happiness. That right there is living a life of the world, living a life that looks like it's happy. But I didn't start realizing what true happiness was until I started working on myself. Until I started doing the things that I need to do to be the best version of myself. Until I started doing the things that made Anthony Lopez not only happy, but a better person, a better human being, a better brother, I'm about to say brother, sister, a better brother, a better son, a better boyfriend, a better cousin, a better Nino, a better person, a better living human being. The person that I know that I should have been my whole entire life, but yet I was happy. I was happy being lazy. I was happy being miserable. I was happy being obese. I was happy that when I couldn't wipe my own ass, when it was hard for me to sleep, when it was hard for me to wake up, I was happy. And that is not happiness. That is what we like to paint the picture of happiness is. That's the mask that we wore to look happy. But literally just think about it. Are you happy right now? Are you living the life that you want to live right now? Are you doing the things that you know you should be doing right now? Which leads into the main reason why I wanted to get into this. When I was going through some of the hardest times of my life and I was doing the wrong things, I was depressed. I was suicidal. I had no self-confidence. I had no self-respect, and I had no self-love. Now, when I'm talking about this story, I'm talking about myself, and I'm not saying depression is not real, but I really want to paint a picture of my life. And unless I'm the one-off person in the world, then I'll take it. I'm the one-off person in the world. Highly doubt it. When I was doing the wrong things in my life is when I was the most unhappy. When I was going against who I was raised to be, when I was going against who I wanted to be, when I was going against who I knew I should be, I was unhappy. When I wasn't showering every single day, I was unhappy. When it was hard for me to wipe my ass, I was unhappy. When I wasn't taking out the trash, I was unhappy. When I wasn't cleaning the car like my grandpa raised me to always have a clean car, I was unhappy. And the reason why I was unhappy and the reason why I was living this high life of fake happiness is because I wasn't doing the right thing. So isn't it safe to say that you can create your own happiness by just doing who you need to be, doing what you need to do? Doing the things that you need to do to make you a good human being. Doing the things that are right in front of you, the tasks, the 5 things that are in front of you that you need to accomplish in order just to make yourself feel better. Because at the lowest part of my life, I was doing the dumbest things. At the lowest part of my life, I was making the worst decisions. And not only physically, but financially. Constantly going out and spending money that I didn't have. Constantly stressed about money and finances. Constantly going and Uber Eats and getting fast food. Constantly only had $20 to $30 in my bank account. I was constantly talking about how good I'm going to be, and how big I'm going to blow up, and how much I'm going to start another business, but I wasn't doing anything. And I was unhappy. I was miserable because I was lying to myself. We all have the best version of ourselves sitting right in front of us right now. It's a person that's been telling us to get off your ass and go do the things that you need to do. It's a person that's told you to start going to the gym that's in your head. It's a person that's looked at herself in the mirror and said, I need to change that. That's the best version of yourself. It's a person that tells you to go take out that trash. That's the best version of yourself. It's a person that tells you that you need to stop procrastinating. That's the best version of yourself. But every single time that we get up and we don't do the things that we need to do every single day, you're telling yourself you're not worth it. You're telling yourself that you are not worthy of having a good life. You are not worthy to have a good body. You are not worthy to have a good relationship. You are not worthy to have a good family. You are not worthy to live a lifestyle that you really dream of. Every single time you wake up and there's different things that you are pushing off that you are not doing, you are telling yourself you're not worthy. And I'm telling you right now, that is the craziest, most insane thing you could ever do. Because a person out there listening to this right now that is feeling like I'm talking to them is 100% worthy. But the reason why you're not worthy at the moment is because you're not willing to put in the work. And those that are not willing to put in the work is never going to live the lifestyle that you want to live. You're never going to have the love and compassion for yourself because you're not giving yourself love and compassion. You're not building the lifestyle that you feel that you should be living. You're not creating your own happiness. Why is it that when I was doing the wrong things, drinking too much, eating too much, life of indulgence, I was getting depressed? I became suicidal. Now, yes, there is a lot of trauma behind that, but at the end of the day, even before my grandpa passed away, I was still doing the wrong things. Maybe if I was living a healthier lifestyle, maybe if I did care about my health before my grandpa got sick, maybe if I did care about who Anthony Lopez was and the way I presented myself, maybe when my grandpa got sick, I would have handled things differently. Maybe I would have been happier with myself and understand that even though I'm losing my grandpa, there's still things I could do to better myself. There's still good things I could do to pour into myself that's not eating, that's not drinking, that's not things that actually are going to cause me to maybe pass away from the same thing he's passing away from. But I would never know at that moment because I was not living the life that I should be living. I was not respecting my own self, and I was not respecting my body. And we need to change that mindset. It's time for you to change that mindset and start respecting yourself. Stop respecting the person with 100, 200, 300,000 followers and start respecting you. Stop putting these people on a pedestal and start putting yourself on a pedestal. Stop saying yes to doing this for Sam, Susan, and Bill, and Jessica, and start saying yes to doing things for yourself. Because at the end of the day, in that mindset of you thinking that you're not worth it, in that mindset of not doing the things that are going to make you better, in that negative mindset of you not creating the best version of yourself, you are telling yourself you are not worth it. You are only worth this X, Y, and Z, and that's all you're ever going to be worth it. And at the end of the day, you're not going to believe anything different until you start doing different. And the day that you realize that you are worth it, the day that you realize that you deserve to have the life that you live, the day that you realize that you deserve to have the family you live, the day that you start taking action, the day that you start taking action and focus and creating discipline and consistency and doing the things that are just going to make you a good, loving human being. And when I mean loving to yourself, because you need to love yourself before you start loving anyone else. At the end of the day, that's what you need. When you start taking the right steps to loving yourself and doing the things for yourself and doing the things that are going to make you happy, doing the right things, picking up trash off the floor, picking up trash in your room, washing your car, clean, whatever it is, the second that you start doing the right things for yourself, I guarantee that anxiety, that stress, that pressure of just fucking life is going to lift up off your shoulders just a little bit. But it's not going to happen because you do it for one day. It's not going to happen because you do it for 2 days. It's not going to happen because you did it for 3 weeks. This is something that you have to fight for every single day. Because it is difficult right now, the life that you're living that you're unhappy with to live. So why not get out there and do the hard thing that's going to a couple weeks and a couple months and a couple years going to lead you to look in the mirror and be a happy person. To look in the mirror and say, I could have went that way, but I chose to change my life around. I chose to do things that 95% of the world won't do, and look where I'm at today. Maybe it's 10 pounds down. Maybe it's a $5 raise. Maybe it's a better car. Maybe it's a better relationship with who you believe in. Maybe it's a better relationship with yourself. Maybe it's a better relationship in your marriage. But you'll never know until you start taking actions and start becoming a good human being today and realize that you are worth it. But the only way that you're going to find out that you're worth it, the only way that you're going to create true happiness in your life is if you start taking yourself serious and you start loving yourself. And the only way you can love yourself is doing the things that's going to make you a good person.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.